Welcome to the DNA Health Investigation Podcast. I'm Lisa Witherow, and I'm here because we've been given generic health advice that doesn't address our unique needs for far too long. We all deserve to know the facts about our health instead of just hoping for the best. This podcast will help end the guesswork and offer you a view of what you need to start treating your biology like the forensic evidence that it is. No more trends and trial and error. Instead, you get to know all about the facts within your body. It's time to stop searching for answers outside of ourselves and start uncovering the truth within. If you want more than standard diagnostics and temporary fixes, let's dive into the DNA evidence-based approach to better health. Hope everybody's doing great today. I really wanted to come to you today and talk about what it takes to move our health in a more consistent direction and make sure that we are going in the direction that we want to go. And this was inspired by observing, I watch a lot of sports for my son. He's a college lacrosse player, but also just watching the games on TV and appreciating what goes into winning. When you see what it takes to get a team to go from a marginal performance to an exceptional one, it really is magical to watch, especially when you think about how many players are involved, how many positions, and all of the different skill sets that need to be in place. When I think about what really makes the difference, it's leadership. When you think about even the skill sets that are involved, we need to be able to appreciate that we're coached to improve. If our skill set isn't where it needs to be, we're coached to get to that level. We are given the outside perspective to appreciate what we need to shift or recognize that we're not exactly doing what we think we're doing. And the movement, as in the physical movement of sports, when you're making a shot, whether it's basketball, lacrosse, soccer, all of the different sports, you have a specific gait, you have a specific structure, and you have to work within that structure as an individual. But your coach is outside of you observing how your body is functioning and whether you are kicking it in the right direction, throwing it in the right direction, all of the things that we believe we're doing and, oh, so close. What was off? That outside perspective gives us so much insight. And that's where coaching and leadership can be an incredible asset. Now, when it comes to health, it's very similar. We go through our lives, we go through our days just expecting things to be normal. Very often, we expect things to go our way, or sometimes we think, oh, this is another day, we're going to have this problem or that problem, if we have had those problems recently. When we're talking about health, it is very similar. We have a certain structure, our DNA. We need to recognize what that DNA is to really allow us to leverage our strengths and support our weaknesses. We can work on our skills in terms of supporting our body in a very specific and personalized way. It gives us the coach of all coaches because it's insight that no one can see from the outside, including doctors, unless they do a DNA analysis and understand the implications of all of the genetics that are involved. And that's a tall order because it's not something that's taught in medical school. It's a very new science. 2003 is when the genome was sequenced, so it's very new. And every day there is new research and new information that give us greater insights. That is one way of looking at it. The other aspect is we need to have the mindset of winning. When you look at it from a sports perspective, it is absolutely the leadership that is required because You have so many different minds on the team. You have so many different attitudes that are coming into the game and expectations. Well, this team has always won when we play against them. When you see all of those mindsets, it's valuable because you're able to then tie the different mindsets together and cinch them together in a way that is going in the direction you want it to go. You're bringing people to a place that you know they're able to arrive. They're able to win if they have the mindset, if you've coached the skills, and it can take time. Now, when it comes to health, mindset is incredibly important. We think of ourselves as having one mindset. Why do we need help if we are in charge of our own mindset? But are we? How many different opinions, attitudes, and media exposures are in the subset of our mindset that are influencing us every day or have influenced us all our lives? So it's a very important topic to look at and analyze and appreciate. What is our mindset about health? Is it that we just get lucky? Is it that it is all up to our genetics and we just have to accept the fate that we're dealt? Or is it that we have influence and we have the ability to really make a difference where we want to end up with our health? That's why I do the work that I do, because ultimately we're looking at the need for leadership. We absolutely need to have an influence over how we think about our health. The fact that we need to prioritize our health on a regular basis. We need to make sure that we are challenged to improve our health, improve our lives every day. Every single day that we get up in the morning, we have an opportunity to make choices that either contribute to or detract from our health goals. And are we recognizing those opportunities? If we don't have reminders on a regular basis, if we don't have a mindset that says we can, sometimes we lose sight of it. When it comes to the skills of being healthy, eating healthy, making sure that we are giving specific support where we have the opportunity to give it, if we are honoring our bodies in terms of movement, growth and development, mindset, even focus and attention, where are we able to improve and guide ourselves in a positive direction, always improving? That continuous improvement mindset alone will change your life. Because everything that we do requires a foundation of health. If we don't have our health, we're going to be distracted from everything else. We are going to be preoccupied with concerns. We are going to have aches and pains and illnesses and aggravations that don't allow us to do what we want to do in our lives. It could be travel. It could be getting a job, taking a promotion. It could be winning a sport. So many things. Our body requires certain resources in order to function optimally. And when we don't take the time to recognize what those resources are, we can lose sight of what is missing. We can believe that our body is just set up for arthritis or set up for depression or whatever it is, because we are living in that world of diagnosis. We are diagnosed with a particular problem. It becomes part of who we are, and then we are acceptant. We are medicated. We are allowing the limitations. And I don't see how that is going to serve us. I believe there is a better way. I know for a fact that there is a better way. And in many cases, because it is so new, we need leadership. We need to move toward becoming our own leader. But in many cases, we need outside leadership to get us to that place where we can be independent and say, I feel confident that I have the mindset that I need. I feel confident that I am moving every day toward my health goals. I feel I am capable of recognizing what genes need to be supported and what my everyday steps are to have the foundation of health that is required to accomplish everything I want to accomplish in my life. That I can live and not just accept limitations or deterioration, which so often I hear people as they're aging, well, I'm older, so that's just expected. That's the good news. It's not expected. Expect more. And that is truly the opportunity that we have. It's an opportunity of a lifetime to become our own leader. And when it comes to being that leader, we aren't just leading ourselves. If you think about it, when we step into and accept that challenge, we are becoming the leader for all the generations that follow. Our children, our grandchildren, any relatives, observers, people who are younger than us, people who are our same age. We need to be the leader. Because when you think about the leaders in healthcare right now that are out there, I'm not saying there aren't good leaders. There are. But when you look mainstream, we're talking about doctors who are leading you to accept the limitations, who are leading you into a commitment to medication for the rest of your life. And if that's the way you want to go, that's fine. But you need to accept what comes with that. We have to ask questions. We have to ask. Be inquisitive. Be the investigator. We want to make sure we are investigating not only our DNA, but what is affecting our DNA. What is supporting us? What is undermining us? We have to ask questions. And it's asking yourself, asking your doctor, it's Googling. It's so important that we become the investigator because we need to be the leader. If we don't ask questions and we just accept what's around us, you know how that ends. You know the limitations of that because we're just letting our environment and our circumstances decide. Who wants that? I certainly don't. And I know I can't afford that. I've said it a million times. I am so blessed to have been given that experience through others. Losing my parents when they were young taught me I can't just wait around and let circumstances influence my life. I need to make the decisions that make a difference. And so do you. Now, you yourself may have had an aha moment or a health crisis, or you may have witnessed in your family, like I did, health crises that teach us lessons. But do we learn, or do we just think of it as that's just bad luck? That's just what I dealt with. No, we have to learn from it. We need to leverage that experience and actually move in a direction that proves that we've learned and we've grown from it. It is a learn, grow, evolve situation. We really do need to evolve for ourselves, but also to show that we're not just going to accept it. We don't want our children to just think that we're okay with mediocrity. It's our lives. This is it. Our body is our forever home. We can't move out of it. Well, we can, but we're not going to be here anymore. And it's important to recognize the responsibilities that we have with that and the opportunities. It's not a heavy weight when I think of responsibility. When I think of responsibility, I think of it as this is such a tremendous opportunity. It's such a great realization that we can make a damn difference and not just accept that, oh, my body's achy, I'm dealing with this, no. That's not where we are when we're in our power. We have to have the mindset and the recognition that when we have a pain, it's our body telling us there's something that needs to change. We need to do something differently. We need to work in a different way. We need to support our body in a specific way. We need to have better resources for our bodies. It could be nutrition, it could be supplements, it could be movement, it could be water. We need to make sure that we are giving our bodies everything that they need. And then they can give us what we need. It's really a pretty simple equation, but it's where it gets complicated is it's not a one for one. And this is where, again, it's so important to recognize if you've ever done a DNA test and you're disappointed that you didn't learn very much, it's not because your DNA didn't give you information. It's because there's a translation error. We need to make sure we have the support that we need in order to understand what it can tell us. And you need someone who has experience, who's able to do the research, do the digging, and make the connections with you so that you can make the changes that are getting you where you want to go. It's great that they have services out there that do DNA testing that give you reports, because then you have some basic information. You also have the opportunity in most cases to download your raw data, which I highly encourage that you do, because once you download your raw data, you have it. It doesn't change. Where it may change is if you get a more comprehensive DNA test and you see more of it. That's what can change. The other thing that can change is when you recognize that you have a variant in a particular gene that needs support and you begin supporting it, it can change that gene expression. And that's where the magic lies. When it comes to our health, we have the ability to change the expression of our genes and the outcome for our health when we are mindful and taking leadership. We're making calculated choices and not just random options. We're also not just jumping on board with a medication that is silencing our bodies. Our body may be telling us that something's wrong, and sometimes it could be misleading because you may have difficulty sleeping or have anxiety, and you feel like your body is in a mode of protection. It may be because your body has something internal that is a risk factor, like histamine is overproducing. It's causing your brain to think something is wrong because histamine is produced when we're injured. It's produced when we are at risk. But when you have an overproduction of histamine, the brain doesn't know why, so it overreacts and you have anxiety. Now, that's not the only reason that we can have anxiety. It's not the only cause, but that's where DNA and that investigation is so valuable, because we can go in and look at your genetics to see where your strengths and weaknesses are, and that can give us amazing information and insight into what your body needs. And then, of course, we look at family history. We look at your personal health history. What are your current experiences? When are you dealing with anxiety or sleep issues? Is it all the time? Is it early in the evening? Is it middle of the night? It's so interesting to be able to investigate your own body and become the leader of your health. It is a game changer, and it changes lives. Not only your own, but as I say, people who are looking at you, oh my gosh, you look amazing. You're doing great. You have so much more energy. What's going on? How are you doing this? Not only are you able to share what you're doing differently, but you are influencing them and encouraging them and contributing in their lives in ways that you might not have had the energy to contribute. So it is not a one-for-one or addition. We're talking multiplication, where you're multiplying your impact on the world and your ability to do the things that you really want to do in life. So that's really my message today, is all about leadership. We need to take leadership. We need to take control. There's no reason why we should accept mediocrity. There's no reason why in this day and age we should see something as genetic. Well, it's just genetic. I have to accept that I'm going to be diabetic, or that I'm going to have a particular issue that is going to limit me. No, I don't accept that. And I'm not just putting my head in the sand. I know there's an alternative. If you have any interest in learning more about this, if you have a particular health topic that you want to discuss, that you want me to discuss, if you have questions that you want me to answer, I can do that. I wanted to let everyone know that you have an opportunity, and I can help lead you until you feel comfortable leading your own health. If you feel like you just are wobbly right now because you've been under the influence of standard medicine, I totally get it. I was too. And it's still out there. It's still an influence. We hear the commercials all the time. Oh, just take this pill and you're going to solve your problem. We all know it's bullshit, but it's still there. It's an influence, and it can be tempting. Oh my gosh, take this shot and you can lose 20 pounds in 20 days. My first question is, what are the side effects? Am I willing to accept those side effects? How does it affect the body? What is the mechanism of action? What's it doing? You have to ask the questions. Become the leader. You have to be in control. You are the owner of this body. And it's a gift. We don't want to waste it. I really feel like this is a message everyone needs to hear. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, please share it. Thank you again so much for being here, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks so much for joining me for this DNA Health Investigation episode. If you would like to hear more, please like and subscribe so you can get occasional notifications of new information. You're also welcome to join my community on Facebook, watch my videos on YouTube, and read my latest articles on Substack. The links can be found in the show notes. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next time.